Hello. So I'm coining this phrase, this state that I'm in. I'm coining a phrase I'm calling it frustration depression. In other words, I wouldn't be depressed if I weren't frustrated. There are things that are difficult for me to figure out. And it's directly related to the conditions, disorders that I have. And I know that some of them are common to just everybody, but if you have these conditions, it just makes it worse in the response to the frustration worse. And like that is technology. Technology is... iPhone comes out with a new iPhone every year. So I'm this close to having a complete meltdown. I killed my phone, recently got a new phone. I'm still figuring this damn thing out. I have this ancient tablet. As long as it works, I'm not getting a new one. I'm one of those people. I don't like the changes. And that falls in with like the autism and ADD. Anyway, so I do stick with at least the same maker and whatever device, so it's at least somewhat familiar. But what's giving me such big problems is Google keeps telling me I'm running out of storage. And you see, the phone does not take SD cards. Phones don't do SD cards anymore. You have to buy more storage. And I did. And it keeps saying, I'm not doing anything. And all of a sudden it says I've used up more storage. And I'm desperately trying to delete stuff that I don't really want to delete. And I didn't have this problem with my old phone because I could put it on the SD card. I'm not very trusting with things I can't physically handle. And apparently they want you to, I guess, use the cloud for your pictures and files and videos. And I don't trust that. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense in my brain. I'm terrified. And I don't know if I back up my pictures on the cloud, can I delete them on my phone so it will function, in my tablet so it will function correctly and stop giving me you ran out of storage? Or do they disappear forever, even in the cloud? I tested it with a picture and it still stayed there. My laptop I had is what I consider to be fairly new. And I just got the hang of it. It's very hard. It is very, very hard. I picked one that they say YouTube is good for YouTube videos, pCloud. I downloaded it, and on my phone and my tablet, it just automatically downloaded all my stuff. And I was trying to do it on my laptop, and it's not working like that because it's not. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. It's so hard. do other people understand this? And I just don't have the part of the brain that will let this make sense for me to figure it out. And the problem is the more frustrated I get, the less likely I am to succeed in figuring it out. And I do know for a fact that if I just let it go for a day and I come back fresh, sometimes my mom can help me. It makes more sense, but it's not the only thing that right now I'm having this problem with, and I'm just completely overwhelmed. I kept getting Google has stopped on my tablet, and I thought, well, it's like 5 years old. It's finally at its end, and I ordered a new one. I really can't afford it. And then I discovered that I was getting those Google has stopped because I didn't have enough storage. As soon as I erased some stuff, deleted some stuff, I didn't get that message anymore. So now I have 2 tablets. So I don't know, maybe if I like the new one, if I don't like the new one, maybe I can send it back. Or if I like the new one, I can sell the old one and maybe recoup a tiny amount of money. I just have never been able to do computer stuff, phone stuff. I bought a smartphone. I was like one of the last people in the world to get a smartphone. I had my little pink, it was like this, and you popped it up and you could text and take really grainy, awful pictures. And I had that thing forever, and it took me so long to get a smartphone. I liked having I liked having a desktop. I didn't trust going to a laptop and get rid of a desktop. I had a digital camera that I did my really old videos on, and then I would use cords to hook them together, and I could put the videos onto my computer and upload them to YouTube. And now there's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and I miss the good old days. I really do. I miss CDs, you know. Oh gosh, I don't think do I have any tissue here? The other thing that is flustering me along the same lines is, see, I have to have things in lists. I have to have things organized in a very specific way for me to be able to follow. And so I come up with my own systems, and if someone messes up that system, I get very flat out angry. And when things are presented to me from other people that don't follow my format, I have to go over it and put it in my format for me to understand. For example, I got an email. I'm not going to talk about this much on this channel because that's not the topic here. But I am in the process of converting to the Catholic faith. And so you go into Mass, and there is in the pews these booklets. They're thick, like that thick, and it has like a couple months worth of what you're supposed to go to this page, we're going to do this, and then you go to this page to sing this, and then you go to this page for this little prayer, and it goes by date, but it doesn't, it's stupid how they do it. They take this one topic, this one like thing you're supposed to do, and they'll say June 2nd, June 9th, June 16th, rather, and then go to the next thing, June 2nd, June 9th, instead of just putting June 2nd and everything for June 2nd in order. We're going to stand, we're going to say this, we're going to sit, we're going to sing this, and then after that, do June 9th, all of that. That makes more sense to me. So it's so convoluted. I was just flabbergasted the first time, second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and I just was like, I still, I'm like, I finally admitted, I'm just like, I'm still having trouble trying to follow this booklet to know when I'm supposed to stand and say what, and I'm trying so hard to follow the booklet, I'm missing the message that I'm there for. And it really had me down. And I'm making this video Saturday night, so I'll be going Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, and I do have someone assigned to me to help. I even put little tabs in there to try to help me. This is what they say during the greeting, and this is what they sing when they do communion or whatever, and it didn't help me at all. The priest, even the first time I went, he marked in the booklet, and it didn't help because it's just not in a format that my brain can work on. The priest sent me an email because I asked about what the process was, and it was in paragraph form, and so I had to read it. When I read stuff, I like to highlight it as I go, and I'm not doing it so I can go back. I'm doing it so I can focus and take that part I'm highlighting in because I think it's important. And so there's a lot of highlighting in what I read because that's why I'm highlighting. So I can follow along. Otherwise, I get lost in the story. I get confused. And so I had to print out his email, read it, highlight it as I read it, and then figure out from that paragraph form a list. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and I'm just worried that I'm going to go tomorrow and still be lost, and I'm afraid I will start to cry. And that will be very embarrassing because last week I was very close to just sobbing, but luckily I'm not a morning person, and I'm so tired that I have even less visible emotions. I'm even blanker or staring at the ground because there's people. But there's this one chick that seems to be the welcome wagon, and she's like a busy bee running around to the new people and introducing herself, and very opposite me, outgoing and stuff, but she's the one I'm partnered with, and I kind of need someone like that. Not someone who's going to wait for me to ask because I'm lost. I mean, I know what the story of the religion is, but learning their prayers and their mass, just getting used to what you physically do with your body and what you say and stuff. Also, I'm frustrated because I've had an unusual low amount of dog training gigs. Reason being given has nothing to do with me. The people just weren't, I guess, prepared. Even though I say specifically, before we even start, what is expected of them. And so for some people, it turns out it's usually we just have so much going on, we don't have time to work with them in between sessions. So I still get their money, but I have a really high following on my page, and I haven't had a graduate in some time. And that's where I get a lot of my interaction on my page, is people see the dogs with their certificate, picture of the dog with their certificate, and the owner if they want to be in it, and and I say something really nice, and I just am worried I'm going to lose visibility. And I used to advertise on the swap shops in the area. I live in a rural area, so there's limited. I have at a couple of the vet places, they pass out my cards. People take picture of the magnets on the side of my cars, so I know it's not anything I'm doing. I'm not doing anything different, and the dogs are learning. It's all about the owners, and so my new dog, she's 8 months old. She's taking over for my old service dog. He's retiring, and she's almost done with her basic training. We've been exposing her to a lot of things, and she is learning the very beginnings of what will become tasks. And she's really smart, and I just haven't had the motivation. I'm just like down to the last few things, and I just haven't had the motivation. She should have graduated by now and started to move on to the next step that I expect my clients to go through. I'm not going to cheat. And so I'm frustrated with myself because I have time. I just don't have the motivation. And it's also very hot here now, so it has to be done early or late. And I am not a morning person, so it has to be done late. Which makes it difficult because that's when I put aside time to spend with my mom, so she doesn't feel, I don't want, so she doesn't feel alone or left out or anything. I can't train her with my mom there and the other dogs there. That's just chaos. And so because I haven't been getting as many clients, I'm not getting as much money. And I'm not saying I don't make a fortune or anything. What I do is I save it for the Renaissance Festival. Now, I used to save it a long time ago. I've been going for many years, but I was a patron, in other words, a customer, and I would save it to go and spend that money. So I would have enough to just buy whatever I wanted. And one year, the first year, which was 2 years ago, I decided to actually sell brooms because people kept commenting on my brooms that I made for myself. And I made a good amount of money. And so last year, I went to do the festival, and I was going to do 2 weekends, so I made twice as many rooms in a rush. And that's when I got sick with the lithium toxicity, so I only had one day and only made like $120. And because it was really, really hot that day, and so there weren't as many customers. So I'm already in a panic about, do I have enough money in my stash? I keep a cash stash that I don't like to touch, to pay for my fees and stuff. Am I going to be able to do it? I'll pick the last 2 weekends in October to see if they're the coolest weekends, so I don't get dehydrated again. Is it really truly safe? My thought is that I'm going to have my doctor put in for me to have a lithium level just before I go, to make sure it's in a good place to begin with. And I'm terrified. And I took my service dog last year, the one I got sick at, which was a big help, because if I had been alone, it would have been like 3 times as bad. I mean, I was just driving on the wrong side of the road without my headlights on. I was so cognitively out of it, and not aware that I had something going wrong. If I had just been alone, that would have been awful. My plan would be, the reason I got in the big trouble was because I tried to leave the campground to go get ice, to get put my water in for the next day, and it was nighttime. And so if I do it again, I'm not leaving the fair and where you sort of camp there. And then the last night, before I go and break down all my stuff in that, I'm going to rent a hotel room. And so I can sleep and go in I don't know. I think that would work better, though. But I have that already in my mind, because I have these massive amount of brooms. They're huge. What do I do with them if I can't go? What? I put so much effort into them. And I think that, well, my decrease in clients specifically has to do with, so we have all these swap shops here, Facebook swap shops, and because it's rural, what I would do is advertise on all the areas swap shops that I go to, And apparently you weren't supposed to post services, just items that you could sell. And I noticed that all of a sudden on all the swap shops, I can't see anything. I get like an error message when I go to look at anything on there, and I'm like, I think they've kicked me off. So that could be like a major part of how I'm not getting. I used to have to turn people away. So I can always put up flyers, but do people look at flyers anymore? So I think that's it, and I feel a little bit better talking about it, but there's so many emotions that go with what I call frustration, depression. It's like a shutdown. I just like gradually, as I was trying to muddle my way through things, today I just felt myself sinking lower and lower and lower throughout the day. I went into my bedroom and laid on my bed and just laid there and like did nothing until I fell asleep, and I got up. It was time to eat. I wasn't hungry. I'm usually starving. I ate a little bit. There was something on TV we were watching that I had been very interested in the day before, and I just can't get interested in anything. I just feel like my momentum has completely disappeared. And there are things I fine, I can handle not doing things, not buying things I don't need, but there are things I need. My special diet is so expensive. Gluten-free is so expensive. And the bummer is I can't balance it out by making myself feel better by eating something tasty, because I can't have high fructose corn syrup either. And I'm also upset because just like not too long ago, I was feeling really good. So now I have to figure out, is this depression really a cause of this frustration? All these frustrating things all at once? Or did I get depressed, and because of that my brain's not working right, and so I am not understanding how to do things because my brain's not working right? I'm leaning towards the former. I get depressed because things get frustrating. I'm just going to say it one more time. I hate technology with a passion. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I want cords. I want things I can handle, I can physically see. I did manage to figure one thing out. I bought these DVDs of a TV show I like, but it's old, and the only place I could find them was they weren't made in Germany. And so when you first put them in, it's the American show, but the voiceover is German, and I was like, God darn it. Is this and I kept trying to, I was playing it in a DVD play. My DVD player for my TV wouldn't even play it. It was, from European. My portable DVD player would play it, but I couldn't get it to show me how to change the language back to English. And I was getting really angry that I had bought these and couldn't watch them. And so finally, I was able to hook up my external DVD player that plays European. It plays everything you put in it. And it has chords. And I love that thing. I love it. And so I put it in there, and I was able to watch the show on my laptop. So I did have one success today. Anyway, so that's enough of me griping. But I would like to know if any of you ever have that same thing, that frustration, depression, and then like as soon as things clear up, you feel better. Or do you have problems with technology? It changes like me. Okay, good night.